homestand continues as they battle the Ducks tonight. Tonight's game is presented by Indeed. Minnesota trying to make it a perfect 4-for-4 start. 3 dramatic one-goal wins. They also look to continue their dominance of the Ducks. They've won each of the last 8 head-to-head. 10-1-1 in the last 12 against Anaheim, including a win in Anaheim to open the season. Inside the XL Energy Center with Ryan Carter, I'm Anthony LaPanta. Minnesota coming off of a dramatic win against Winnipeg here on Tuesday night. Joel Eriksson Ek, a big part of it, his first career hat trick. He scored 4 on 3, 5 on 4, and 6 on 5.
Again, Anthony, I mean, you look at, was he going to be able to live up to the contract and build off what he did last year? And the question mark, or I should say the point of emphasis, is going to be the power play. Can he deliver on the power play? Well, the answer is yes, he did in a big way last game. But it's not just on the score sheet that he's registering big plays. He had a career day in the faceoff dot. I should say he's having a career in the faceoff dot. 60%. He was 47% last year. Huge improvement. That was always going to get better with him with practice. He's such a power player, lots of leverage, and a lot of times faceoffs come down to that. But he's playing in big spots, big minutes. I think he's first in the NHL forward shorthanded time on ice. He's doing everything for the club right now and helping them in a huge way.
And he's been a big part of the Wild come-from-behind success. Minnesota's won each of their 3 games in comeback fashion. 18 wins in that manner over the last 2 seasons. Only Florida and Pittsburgh more. This team has a never-say-die attitude, no doubt about it. Also, a big part of the comebacks is the fact that you have a goaltender that keeps you within striking distance. Cam Talbot gets another start for the Wild tonight. For more on the netminder, let's go down to Kevin Gord.
Thanks, Anthony. It should be no surprise. Cam Talbot has really found his way here in Minnesota. This team really believes in their goaltender, and he has responded in his time with the Minnesota Wild, playing brilliant hockey. I talked to him this year about training camp and what a difference a year makes. Remember, last year was an abbreviated camp. He said the longer camp is huge for a goalie to get the timing and the rhythm and find your legs. And he said, don't overlook the relationship with the goalie coach. He said, Freddie Shabbat has been awesome for my game. The little details, day in and day out, that you need to work on for a veteran goalie. He said, that's make a big, big difference. You saw how sharp he was in California. Big saves in overtime the other night. His head coach knows he's not just a good goalie, he's a very good leader.
He's so mature. He's so calm back there in the dressing room, around the group. You know, we talk about the letters of captains and assistant captains. If you could put it on a goaltender, he'd have one for sure.
As the team gets ready to hit the ice, they know the team of 18,000 made a difference on Tuesday. They'll look to make a difference again tonight. It's the Anaheim Ducks and the Minnesota Wild. And we drop the puck in St. Paul next.
We all got goosebumps, the way they stood up in unison at one point in the timeout and cheered. They gave us a boost, they gave us a kick at the end.
Rebound! They score!
It's so exciting to have fans back. I mean, the whole league, our guys appreciate it, we appreciate it.
Eriksson ties it for the Wild!
The whole world is excited to have people back in stadiums, but our fans were absolutely phenomenal today.
Kaprizov to Fiala. Kaprizov. Eriksson Ek scores! The hat trick wins it for the Wild. Now, what do you do for an encore after a dramatic 6-5 come-from-behind win in the home opener? The Wild back in action tonight against the Ducks. Joel Eriksson Ek coming off of his first career hat trick. Couple of power play goals, a big part of that 6-5 win. Cam Talbot gets another start in goal. It's part of our Northland Ford starting goaltenders.
Yeah, it's a familiar face in the cage there, Anthony. Cam Talbot, he gets his 4th in a row. First time in the veteran's career. He's won his first 3 starts. Wild on a back-to-back set. We might see Kakinen tomorrow night. On the flip side, you've got John Gibson. Good for the Ducks. Seems to be his MO. Comes out of the gate really well. Plays hard. Save percentage is there, but over time wears down. He gets his 2nd start in a row for the Ducks. Wild have to test him.
First time the Ducks have gone with the same goaltender in consecutive games. They had rotated through the first 4. They're playing their 6th game of the season here tonight. We're underway from the XL Energy Center. Playing behind the Minnesota goal. Lundestrom is there for the Ducks.
Comes around to the line where Manson holds. His long shot deflects to the corner. Spurgeon scrambling after it. He's defended by Steele, and Goligoski will start out from behind the net. Couple of assists on the season so far for Goligoski. Feeds Hartman, who flings it in. Gibson easily steers that one into the corner. Ducks come back through center. Trevor Zegras into the Minnesota zone. He's spun around and dumped in the corner. Brodin kicks it ahead. Henrique able to hold the zone. Now Brodin lost it to Zegras. Gives it to Henrique, and Henrique is denied by Talbot.
Wow. Good start for the Ducks there. Skill play by Zegras. You can see why Duck fans are so excited about this young player. Tons of skill, good hands down there. Sets Henrique up for a great A opportunity, but Talbot with the first big save of the game.
Zegras, the Ducks' first-round pick in 2019. Taken 9th overall that year. Lindholm holds the zone. His shot out front. They score. Traffic in front of Talbot. And it's deflected by him. Ricard Raquel found the loose puck well in check. And the Ducks have the game's first goal a minute 18 in.
Well, again, the Wild surrender the first one. Ducks, they've done a good job starting games. Second grade A opportunity they get here. There's a battle out in front of the net. As we get to this, comes just a point shot. Watch Dumba. He goes out, and then Brodin battle in front of the net. I think that's Raquel. Just outworks him a little bit, finds that loose puck, able to pot that one in. But again, Ducks, they've started strong this year, Anthony. This is the 5th of 6 games that they've got the first goal. The Wild surrendering the first goal each of their first 4. Good news for the comeback kids in Minnesota Wild, as we talked about in the open. The Ducks lead the league in losses when scoring first with 3.
And the Wild lead the league in wins when trailing first with 3. We'll see if those trends continue tonight. Fiala fights through a check along the wall. Terry strips him of the puck, plays it out to neutral ice. Kulikov back to pick it up for Minnesota. Up the boards for Fiala. Couldn't get it by Shattenkirk. On the second try, it does come out to center. And Terry sends it back into his own zone for Mahura. Fast start for the Ducks. Lost 3 of their last 4 games after beating Winnipeg on opening night. They were beaten by the Jets their last time out, 5-1 in the rematch in Winnipeg. Freddie Gaudreau back to pick it up. Plays it up the boards for Dumba. He deflects it out to center. And the Ducks gain control there. Fowler sends it across, and Manson rifles it in. Steered to the corner by Talbot. Brodin absorbs a hit in the corner. Ducks have some jump tonight. Wild look a little flat-footed here in the first 2.5 minutes.
Well, I talked to the Ducks GM just in passing in the hallway here, Anthony, and he said, hey, listen, we're a young team, and we play hard, we skate hard, we make some young mistakes, but as you mentioned, they've got some energy, and they're going to skate. You think about the way young players, they jump in, tons of energy, something to prove. All the Ducks have that right now. Something to play for. They come out hot.
Brodin stumbles a bit back of the net, got it to Dumba. Dumba cut off by Lundestrom. Throws it up the wall, and the Wild finally come to center ice. Duhaime hits the Ducks line. Chips it by Lindholm. Sturm's the first man on it. Out to the line, Spurgeon across for Goligoski. Goligoski's shot deflected, hit a stick, winds up in the corner. Sturm on it. Spurgeon, a one-timer, and that went just wide. Goligoski fires, deflected by Duhaime and knocked into the corner by Gibson. And the Ducks able to lob it out to center. Spurgeon hustles back to retrieve. Both teams changing. Good shift for Minnesota's 4th line. They've been outstanding so far this season. Foligno leaves it for Goligoski. Hartman able to chip it by Zegras. Foligno in on the forecheck. That forces a turnover. Hartman's shot is deflected wide, and Henrique's on it for the Ducks. Cross ice, it's knocked down by Kulikov. Foligno right back on the attack. His pass doesn't connect with Greenway. Greenway plays cross ice. Kulikov knocks it down low for Foligno. He has it stripped away by Mahura, but then poke checked off of his stick by Greenway. Foligno in a battle back of the net. Hartman supports the play. Out to Kulikov at the line. His shot knocked away. May have hit Foligno on the way. Foligno back of the net. Good forecheck for Minnesota on this shift. Greenway stumbling. Got it back into the corner to Foligno. Around the wall for Merrill. Merrill's able to hold the zone on the backhand. Mahura in the corner. Hartman ducked underneath the check. But then it's taken away and played out to center. Raquel, the goal scorer for the Ducks, sends it through neutral ice, and Kulikov back to claim it for Minnesota.
Well, now the Wild know what they need to do. That was a patient shift by the big guys down there in the offensive zone. They took their time, wore the Ducks down. They continue to do that. Eventually, there will be holes in the middle of the ice, and the Wild will capitalize with some good scoring chances.
Zuccarello taken down in the corner. Crowd wanted a penalty, nothing coming. Zuccarello wins a puck battle against Manson. Kaprizov swoops in, grabs the loose puck. Got it through for Dumba. Dumba down low to Zuccarello. Back up high for Dumba, who walks the line, winds and fires, and that was blocked. Never reached the net. Ducks come back with Terry. Drops to Getzlaf. Into the middle. Fowler tried to center, and it's broken up. Eriksson plays it ahead off the skate of Kaprizov. Terry tried to drag it from toe to stick. Couldn't get a shot away. Eriksson looking for a deflection at center, and we get a whistle back of the play. And I think we're going to have a penalty here against Anaheim. Our Taco Bell take for the night.
I don't think Evason or anybody on the Wild wanted to mention this, but it kind of looked like a trap game. You have such a big emotional win here against Winnipeg. You got 2 days off. You've got the Halloween party. Now you've got a Ducks team on the calendar that a lot of people have picked to struggle. Well, they give the misconduct penalty. They picked to struggle. And you have to come out and find a way to compete like it was the Winnipeg game. And that's the leg. I think right now the Ducks on them a little bit.
Minor penalties called on each side. Comtois goes for Anaheim. Kaprizov for Minnesota. Each get 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. So it's 4-on-4 hockey. Just about 5.5 minutes into this game.
Well, and the trend continues too, where teams are giving Kaprizov a little bit more attention. You got to give him credit for standing up for himself. Again, if they can find ways to get power plays out of that, that would be even better. But you got to respect the young fella for sticking up for himself.
Gaudreau leaves it for Fiala. Wild circle out of their own zone. Here comes Spurgeon. Spurgeon gains the zone for Gaudreau. He was in check. Gaudreau got it back. Fiala on it for the Wild. Fiala fires, saved by Gibson. And the rebound cleared away by Drysdale. Fiala coming off a night where he played almost 22.5 minutes, most by any Wild forward in a game this season. Lindholm had his shot knocked away by Spurgeon and comes out to center. Drysdale back to pick it up for Anaheim. Jamie Drysdale, another of the young stars for the Ducks, 6th overall pick in the 2020 draft. Player about whom the Ducks are very excited. Here comes Rickard Rakell into the Minnesota zone, defended by Brodin. Those two were battling out front of the net when Rakell won the battle and came up with the game's first goal. Rask able to knock that puck out to center, nearly able to spring Zuccarello, but had it taken away at the last moment. Rakell starts it back to Manson at the Minnesota line, and the Ducks are whistled down offside. Anaheim with an early goal, leading here in St. Paul.
Danielle Spurgeon hosted the traditional team party for Halloween, and they were the host as Pat Sajak and Vanna White of Wheel of Fortune had the whole set and everything. We had Ted Lasso with a great look for Marcus Foligno, but the highlight, guys, Nick Bukestad and his wife came as Nico Sturm and Nico's girlfriend. Bukestad got his hair cut, got all of Sturm's gear, but the best part was covertly they got the girlfriend's gear from Clarkson in town here, and the wife showed up with the blonde wig and the gear on. And it was a big hit because those two guys are good friends. Everybody knows they look alike and play alike, but now they are each other. And Bukestad and his wife pulled it off. What a fun party. What a great idea.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny to hear Nick Bukestad talk about it. He said, well, the next day we had family pictures for my own family, and it looks like Nico Sturm was a part of my family picture.
Well, it's actually amazing how good the haircut was. It looked exactly like Nico. So, no, that's a lot of fun. My favorite was probably John Merrill as Larry Bird, though.
That was good. I like the Ted Lasso look. And then Marcus commented that as the night progressed, he turned into Led Tasso.
Well, he is Ted Lasso. Such a nice guy, right? Like, oh, he's a perfect Ted Lasso.
Sturm shot, they score! It's deflected out front. Duhaime this time should get credit for his first in the NHL. He scored in Los Angeles, had it overturned on a coach's challenge. And now for the second time, it looks like Duhaime has his first NHL goal.
Anthony, Dean Evison always talks about how he trusts everybody in all situations. Duhaime gets rewarded here. He's just looking to pick his stick back up. Lost a battle in front with Manson and his stick. Right spot, right time. You go to the net, good things happen. This one finds a way off his skate and in. But more importantly to me, Anthony, yeah, he scores without a stick. That doesn't happen often, Anthony. It really doesn't. But he's out there 4-on-4. You've got Nico Sturm and Duhaime out there 4-on-4 right now to start a game. You know, Dean trusts these guys in all situations, and they deliver. Yes, that was not a beautiful goal, but still in the back of the net, and it still counts.
Every goal is beautiful. Hey, you don't think he knew when he goes to pick up his stick, make sure your skate's angled properly?
Yeah, you're right. That's just attention to detail, isn't it, Anthony? They all look the same on the score sheet. I know that much.
First in the NHL for Brandon Duhaime, but I think your original point is valid. Not very many coaches trust a couple of fourth liners in a 4-on-4 situation, especially this early in a game when everybody's fresh, and Dean Evison says, let's go to these two guys. They've been good. They reward them with a goal, and the Wild have tied it.
When Dean Evison always says, when you call it their fourth line, he kind of takes offense and says, which line are you talking about, right? Because and he believes that that's the best fourth line out there, and he truly believes it. That's not coach speak. They go out and play like that, they prove why.
Yeah, that was somewhat interesting when he first says, which line are you talking about? We don't number them 1, 2, 3, 4, and then about a sentence later in the same answer he said, I think they're the best fourth line in the NHL.
We knew what he meant.
Ducks come to center, deflected into the Minnesota zone. Goligoski back in his own end across to Spurgeon. Laid ahead at center. Hartman's pass behind Foligno. He relays it in. How many times have we seen this happen over the course of the year? Wild down one, find a way to get the tying goal. Goligoski holds his own. Spurgeon down from the line into the corner. Greenway up high for Goligoski, works to the middle. Spurgeon winds, fires, scores!
Anthony, this all starts by a great forecheck. Jordan Greenway behind the net, stops the puck. Ducks have full control. Eventually it works its way around top. Great screen in front. Foligno with his skates on the paint. Jared Spurgeon, we've seen him hit that corner. He's got a laser accurate shot from that spot, but how about this righty coming down there? Tough angle. Beats Gibson short side. Foligno, great job getting out of the way. Ole. Wow, what a snipe by Jared Spurgeon. Wild 2-1 lead, but again, great forecheck by Greenway. This line had success a couple minutes ago. Big bodies on the forecheck. There they capitalized.
Spurgeon had 6 points in 8 games against the Ducks last year on 3 goals and 3 assists. 3 of his 7 goals came against Anaheim. Adds one here. His first goal this season. Minnesota's in front for the first time tonight.
Might be their first period lead.
Wild haven't led this early in a game yet this season. They are even in terms of first period goals coming into tonight. Rask with it at center. Back into his own zone for Dumba. Matt Dumba wandering out of his own zone halfway through the first period. Goals by Duhaime and Spurgeon. Answer an early goal by Ricard Raquel. This puck's out of play, and we get a whistle. Once again, a response by the Wild. Brandon Duhaime with his first in the league, and then the captain, Jared Spurgeon, beats John Gibson. It's 2-1 Minnesota. Wild in familiar territory tonight, surrendering the first goal, but they've already responded to take the lead. They are a perfect 3-0 when their opponents score first. No team in the league has more wins. It's very early in the season, but nobody else has already won 3 games when trailing first.
Well, I think it's one of those lists that you're happy to be on the top of, but you also don't want to be on the top of, right? Like, you don't want to be known as the team that falls behind all the time, but good that you can battle back. Again, tonight they're going to have a chance to make that 4-0. And that will lead, but they got to find a way to at least keep the puck out of their net to start the games or get on the board early.
Wild were 12-10-3 in games in which their opponent scored first last year. One of 8 teams in the league that had a better than 500 points percentage when trailing first. Here comes Brodin into the Ducks zone. Tried to drop it back for a shot. Kaprizov couldn't pull the trigger before Lindholm took it away. Raquel tied up at neutral ice. Zegras had it kicked away by Kulikov. Matt Zuccarello starts ahead for Minnesota. Wild changing. He throws cross ice. Bit of a mix-up. Sturm lets Getzlaf come away with a puck, who tried to center. Drysdale moves in for a shot, and that went off a skate and wide. Wild were worried about getting called for too many men, and the Ducks tip it in and take advantage. They gained the zone after the Wild had a disjointed change. And here Troy Terry deflects one past Talbot. The Ducks have tied it 2-2.
And that's the margin of error there is in the NHL, Anthony. You make one little mistake and the other team has the ability to make you pay for it. This Nico Sturm jumps on the ice. I can't tell if it's a good player or not, allowing the Ducks to gain possession. Eventually they work it around. I actually thought Drysdale had a chance to hit somebody on the back door earlier. Just a point shot. Duhaime can't get in the lane. Tries his best. High tip. Fluttering puck past Talbot. That's Comtois, healthy scratch last game. Gets his first goal, first point of the year. Led the Ducks last year off to a very slow start. No points through 4, -5. He had a seat in the press box. Came out. That's a big goal for him.
Here Gibson covers before Bukestad could get to the loose puck.
All smiles from Comtois. Look at him, happy as can be off the shot.
Dallas Eakins hoping his club can respond in a similar fashion to the way the Wild responded. Lindholm and Getzlaf pick up the helpers on the Terry goal, his second of the season. Terry didn't play against Minnesota when the teams met in Anaheim, but has responded in a big way. Now 6 points in 4 games. Here's a word from TSR Injury Law.
Hey sports fans, if you've been injured, call us right now for a free consultation at 612-TSR time.
Face-off coming in the Minnesota zone. It looked like on that play there were a couple of Wild players that had come on the ice and they were just worried to touch the puck too soon for fear that the player they were replacing hadn't made it to the bench yet and that they'd draw a penalty. And the reality is what they allowed was the Ducks to gain the zone, get comfortable, and score the tying goal.
Yeah, there's no question. I think that's exactly what happened. Nico Sturm jumps on the ice. He sees a body go past him, doesn't want to touch it. 6 guys on the ice, lets it go. Unfortunately for them, too, it was Ryan Getzlaf. That's the guy you don't want coming down on you in that situation. And they can pay.
Game even now for the second time. Ducks had a lead at 1-0. Wild had a lead at 2-1. Hartman tried to deflect it ahead. Now it does come out to center ice. And Fowler back into his own zone from Manson. Ahead at center for Grew. Merrill goes back after it for Minnesota. Cross ice from Foligno. Goligoski's pass back the other way off target, and it'll be icing against the Wild. 7.5 to go in the first period. Bit of a sleepy start for Minnesota, then a quick response. See what happens here in the last 7.5 of the opening frame.
Wild with options. Ducks get to choose which side. Zegras wanting to go on his strong side. Ryan Hartman able to take this one, but lots of options to take draws for the Wild. 10 forwards took draws last game in.
Wild have been good on faceoffs so far this year, 10th in the league. Significant improvement from a club that was 28th a year ago at just 46.5%. Rask pushed it ahead for Gaudreau. He has Fiala with him at the Ducks line. Fiala back to Goligoski. Tried to go skate to stick for a shot and just lost the handle. Zegras back the other way for the Ducks. Drop pass taken away. Put it right on the stick of Goligoski, who feeds Spurgeon. Spurgeon's pass too far for Gaudreau. There's no icing. And Lindholm back to pick it up for the Ducks. Out to the line where Brodin holds. Fiala and Gaudreau in on the forecheck for Minnesota. Zegras lost it to Kaprizov, to Fiala for a shot, and a save by Gibson. Every time those two are on the ice together, something good seems to happen.
Well, Anthony, usually it's on the power play. There they get a chance at even strength. Dangerous look, Kevin Fiala, but Gibson finds a pad.
Fowler races back behind his net, chased by Eriksson Ek. Wild able to hold, Kaprizov with it. Across, Zuccarello out front for Eriksson Ek, and he was tied up. Dumba knocks it down in his own zone. Zuccarello to Eriksson Ek. Wild create a 3-on-2. Zuccarello, Kaprizov tried to center, and Manson broke it up. Getzlaf back the other way for the Ducks. Cross ice pass forces Anaheim in offside. The Ducks have answered. Goal by Terry makes it 2-2.
Yeah, again, this is Kaprizov forecheck, finds a puck. It's amazing how quick he makes his decisions. Sees Fiala standing in the slot. Nice little soft spot for Fiala. One-timer. But when these two get on the ice, as you mentioned, Anthony, they find a way to create scoring chances. That's great for Dean Evason to know he's got that in his pocket. I'm curious to see as this season plays out with less of a cramped schedule late in games. He's got that card in his pocket. Is he going to pull it out down a goal, down 2 goals? I know he wants balance early on, but late in games, I think that's something he can turn to.
You saw those numbers. 80% of the shot attempts are for the Wild when those two are on the ice together. When neither are on the ice, the Wild are under 40%. Goligoski with it. Out to center, knocked in by Lundestrom, but the Ducks would have been offside. Goligoski with it here to Sturm at center, leaves it for Duhaime. Duhaime's pass behind Bukestad. He's able to recover, throw it on goal, and Gibson stops Duhaime from close range. Duhaime with it again, fires right through the crease. Out to the line where Merrill controls, finds Kulikov. Kulikov can't handle it cleanly, and it comes out to center. Duhaime to Merrill back in his own zone. And Kulikov starts out. Foligno off the wall, down into Ducks ice. Lindholm back to pick it up for Anaheim. Grant fires it cross corner. Kulikov back to pick it up. Spins away from a hit from Delorier. Delorier leads the NHL in hits so far this season. Now Delorier with it again. Fanned on it as he played out to center ice. Drysdale supports the play and gains the zone, but Greenway takes it away for the Wild.
Drysdale may be hearing some steps. Jordan Greenway, the big rig, on the move, decides to pull the ripcord.
Foligno lost control of it, but Greenway's there at center to hammer it in. Gibson stops it back to the net for the Ducks. Knocked down. Hartman tried to center and catch Gibson behind the goal. Now Rask just off the bench for Minnesota.
Yeah, Hartman, great play. Seals the wall, gets Gibson to throw right into him, and then tries to bank it off Gibson as he gets back to the crease.
Zegras nudged it ahead. Fowler into the Minnesota zone. Fowler off to a good start. 4 points for the Ducks so far in 5 games. Henrique pestered a bit by Fiala. Loose puck rolls in on Gibson, and he covers with just over 3.5 minutes left in the first period.
Well, the fourth line continues to play good hockey. This one a zone entry, but how about this pickup by Bukestad? Single hand throws it to the net. Duhaime going there, does a good job. We've seen that lots of times though, Anthony. Duhaime posted up right there on that side of the net. His first goal, the one taken away in LA. He almost had an identical one against Winnipeg. Does a good job stopping at the net there, driving it, but plays a simple game. Already on the board here tonight. Fourth line been effective, validating Dean Evason and saying he's got one of the best fourth lines in the NHL.
Lindholm got it out to center ice. Dumba flips it back the other way. Rask lost it at the Duck line. Fiala supports, but his pass just out of the reach of Gaudreau. Troy Terry, who just scored the tying goal for the Ducks, got it to Getzlaf. Goes cross ice. Talbot slides across. Getzlaf holds his own. Again goes cross ice with it. Lindholm bumped off the puck by Fiala, and Brodin controls. Kaprizov to Gaudreau. He's heading to the bench on a change. Wild will set it up with Dumba. Got it to Eriksson Ek. Off the wall and down low. Drysdale goes back after it. Heavy hit in the corner. Thrown by Eriksson Ek. That brings a roar from the crowd. I haven't seen a lot of physical play so far in this game.
No, you haven't, Anthony, but that's the way to send a message to a young player. Again, Drysdale pulled up lame when he thought maybe he's going to get into a battle with Greenway there. Ek finishes that one. He'll have the young guy thinking twice.
Spurgeon starts out from behind his net. 2:10 left in the opening period. Nico Sturm hits the Ducks line. Long shot knocked away by Gibson. Out to the line. Kulikov got there for Minnesota. Chips it in to hold his own. Penalty coming against Kaprizov. It'll be his second penalty of the opening period. And the hooking call will put the Ducks on the power play.
Again, Anthony, this one hurts.
Minnesota, 2 minutes for hooking.
Hooking penalty. That's the Wild. Their 13th stick penalty of the year, Anthony. This one 160 feet away from their own net. Doesn't need to happen on the back check. That's going to get called every single time.
Attention college students. College night discounts are back this season. Tickets start at just $39. Weekend, weeknight games to choose from. Games each month. Find out more at wild.com/college.
Talked about on the pregame show, Anthony. The Wild killed it. They've had the good structure. There's been some space in the middle of the ice that other teams have exploited. We'll see if they can't shore that up right now, but keep an eye on Marcus Foligno getting in there. They're right off the bat. First one, Anthony.
Kulikov able to shove it ahead. Ducks have power play goals in 4 of their first 5 games. 5 total. Scored by 5 different players. Minnesota has surrendered at least a power play goal in every game. And we're going to get a penalty here that'll even things up. An interference call at the Minnesota line. Comtois took Kulikov down. He goes to the box.
Interference call. Comtois, who I thought was the goal scorer, was not the goal scorer. Was in the doghouse. Might be back in the doghouse. He tries to get out of the way there, but again, you've got the guy looking the other direction. It's a tough spot to be. You've just got to either get yourself offside or make sure you don't bump him. He's going to have to pay for that one. 4-on-4 for the next minute 36.
Wild already scored a 4-on-4 goal in this game. Gaudreau and Fiala open for Minnesota up front. Gaudreau wins the draw. Fiala tried to go across for Spurgeon. Now Fiala back to hold the zone for the Wild. Off the skate of Spurgeon. Spurgeon holds the zone. Goligoski lets it go by for Fiala. Spurgeon to the middle. Crisscrosses with Fiala. Fiala withstands a Silverberg hit. Fires from a sharp angle. Gaudreau over to hold the zone. Gaudreau leaves it for Spurgeon. Spurgeon to Fiala. Off the wall, taken away by Lindholm. Fiala out front of the backhand. Saved by Gibson. Fiala has won a significant number of puck battles along the wall in this game, and here he creates a scoring chance by doing so.
Well, he's got the feet moving right now for sure, Anthony. The offensive zone, they do a good job. A lot of the battle up on top of the zone. Eventually they get it down towards the net. Kevin Fiala wins this battle, does a good job taking it to the net. Tries the backhand between the legs of Gibson, just narrowly misses it. But you've got to love the way Fiala's been playing. He started off the year, and everybody said it looks like a guy that's got something to prove when he plays. And it's about consistency for him. We talked about that in the pregame show. He's showing it right now. It's been 4 games. He's been good.
Manson with it here for the Ducks. 40 seconds left in the period. 4-on-4 hockey as Terry races into the Minnesota zone. Henrique back for Manson. Henrique to Manson at the line. Manson's long shot goes wide and deflects off the glass. Tonight's game is presented by Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Face-off coming in the Minnesota zone. Manson has his shot blocked. Henrique races after it to beat Dumba to the loose puck. Manson to Fowler. Back up high. Terry with a shot blocked by Eriksson Ek. Hartman plays it off the wall down into Ducks territory, but we're down to 6 seconds in the period. And as Terry starts out, Fowler will circle back, and we get to the first period horn. Some excitement in the opening frame, and the Ducks and Wild are even 2-2.
Yeah, again, Ducks get out early. Wild come back. Little sleepy trap game. Wild, they've got the first 20 under their belt. Go to the locker room, find a way to come back out refreshed, stay out of the box. Too many stick penalties for these guys. They got to find a way to play them 5-on-5 if not on the puck.
Brandon Duhaime with his first NHL goal. He will chat with Kevin Gorg next.
Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by TSR Injury Law. Put their winning team to work for you. Call 612-TSR-TIME.
Well, back in downtown St. Paul, a good game tonight sees the Ducks and the Wild both with 2 after the first 20. And the young man next to me just scored his first goal in the National Hockey League. Maybe not how you drew it up, but you had one taken away. How good's it feel?
Definitely really good. Like you said, not how you want to draw it up, but you know, it was pretty awesome to get the first one and real excited about it.
Your head coach gave your line high praise earlier today about how effective you've been together. What is it about Nick Bukestad and Nico Sturm that bring out the best in your game?
I think they're just really special players, and they play a similar game the way I do. You know, just a simple straight line game, and I feel like we complement each other real well, and you know, they're really easy to play with, and always talking to me, always communicating with me, so it's really, really nice.
You've had such a great camp. You've worked so hard. You deserve that break. Enjoy your first goal. Go get a win tonight.
Thank you very much.
Brandon Duhaime with his first in a Wild sweater. What a start to the season that young man is having. When we come back, take a look at some local brewers who are making quite a difference in our community.
Hey, Dad, what's up?
I can't get this.
After one. Last Wild season, we introduced you to a cool collaboration between local women brewers right here in Minnesota. This year, they're back with another brew, and here is their unique story.
Lagers, IPAs, stouts, and more. There are endless options when it comes to taking in a cold brew. Statistically speaking, more often than not, your beer of choice was created and brewed by a man. But that's where women like Ariel Keaton and Shannon Stroh come in.
There are 21 women in the state of Minnesota that brew beer professionally. That's it. So we are 1%. When you think beer, you don't think women. So it's cool to even have just women here because, I mean, it's predominantly males here.
By here, she means Surly Brewery in Brooklyn Center, where today it's all about adding a female touch to the brewing process.
I told all the men to watch out for all the estrogen today. My coworker said we're gonna have to scrub everything for cooties. I was like, you're right. But yeah, no, it's really cool to get all these women together.
Together, they're brewing the second beer of the Nevertheless series. Beers created and brewed start to finish by women.
Each recipe is designed by the woman hosting. It's her recipe, it's her name of the beer.
Today, it's Shannon's recipe, aptly called the Definitive Few.
True to Surly's brand, we're brewing an IPA here, but I wrote the recipe, so the malt's gonna be a little bit different. And then we're also using all Southern Hemisphere hops, so they're all from New Zealand. Traditionally, we don't usually use Southern Hemisphere hops, so that was kind of my change on the IPAs.
As easy as it is to crack open and enjoy a cold beer, the process is quite the opposite.
The brewing process will probably take 4 to 5 hours maybe, and then after today it'll sit in a fermenter it'll ferment out for maybe a week, week and a half.
Once it's ready to go, the Definitive Few will be on tap at Surly, so anyone from the casual beer drinker to the beer enthusiast can enjoy a crisp, cold brew that's helping to change the industry for the better.
I would hope that if there are women that see this beer coming out, or if they were ever curious about beer, that they would either reach out to any of us or ask questions, get into it, and hopefully we see more women joining.
My heart is so full seeing all these women together and all of us showing off our passion. It's fantastic, and every woman here is in it to win it. we're not going anywhere in this industry, and we're just going to keep gaining numbers as we go on.
Well done, Andre Martin, with that cool story. And the beer definitive view is now pouring at the Surly Brook Beer Hall in Minneapolis. Here in St. Paul, it's 2-2, and stats and highlights are headed your way next.
Predators, Wild.
All even, 2-2 after one. Strange feel to the first period as you look at our Menards game reset. Even though there were 4 goals scored, it didn't feel like there were great offensive looks for either side.
No, it didn't. It was a battle, I think, for sure for the Wild to find the energy to get up for this one. Anaheim good early, found a way to get 2 past Talbot. But how about the fourth line? 11 shots for the Wild, 6 out of that fourth line. They're going. The rest of the guys need to follow suit.
Second period face-off next. Brandon Duhaime with his first NHL goal in the first period for Minnesota. Ducks scored the first goal, Wild got the next 2, and then the Ducks tied it late. We start the second period in 4-on-4 hockey. Wild will get a brief 24-second power play in 5 seconds as Kaprizov's penalty will expire. So the faceoff becomes key. If you can win the draw and have possession when Kaprizov jumps on the ice, you might have time to make something happen with the extra man.
20 seconds, 24 seconds, that'll be plenty, Anthony. Obviously Kaprizov coming right out of the box, right onto the power play.
Zuccarello grabs the loose puck for Minnesota. He's hit by Manson. Silverberg has it and is able to play it down into Wild ice. Kaprizov's on. Wild on the power play. 15 seconds with the man advantage as Spurgeon starts out of his own zone. Fiala goes across. Erikssonek relays it in. Zuccarello back around the other way. Spurgeon hustles over. Got to the line in time. Centering pass for Erikssonek. He was defended by Grant. Kaprizov not able to hold. And the Ducks are back at full strength. The brief power play is over. And the Wild are offside. Our Geico stats made easy. Cam Talbot picked up a win on opening night or home opening night against the Winnipeg Jets. His numbers over the last 2 years in this building: 13-2-2, the best points percentage on home ice in the National Hockey League.
Well, there's no doubt he shows up on home ice, but if you ask him, he's going to give credit to his teammates. A perfect example would be Winnipeg gave up 5, but they found a way to win, right? So, the X is a tough place to play. He's part of the reason that's true. Teammates in front of him play hard as well.
Another stick infraction against Minnesota as Goligoski will be called for hooking.
Minnesota 47, 2 minutes for hooking.
And the Ducks go on to the power play. Even though Talbot gave up 5 the other night, it was a typical Talbot night in that there were still a couple of points where when Winnipeg had a 1-goal lead, he made what we at the time thought that might be a game-saving save, keeping Minnesota within 1. And no better example than the overtime save he made just before the Wild went on the 3-on-2 rush to win it.
And I think as a staff, that's why they love him, right? Is you know he's not going to be fantastic every single night, and that's not a shot on him. It's hard to be great every single night, but he doesn't quit, sticks with it, and gives his team a chance to win every night, and that's what matters.
Ducks on the power play. Getzlaf leaves it back for Drysdale. Across for a one-timer. Save Talbot. Loose puck in the slot. Ducks finally control. Zegras gives to Raquel. Back to Zegras. Comtois setting up out front. Here's Comtois to Zegras. Zegras into the middle. Drysdale. Zegras with it once more. Comtois centers. It hops to Getzlaf. Out to the line. Drysdale. Zegras. Drysdale. Long wrist shot deflected. Getzlaf has it. Drysdale moves in. Another wrist shot. That one got through. Talbot with a save. Rebound Getzlaf. Drysdale looking. Fires. They score. This one's tipped by Comtois. And the Ducks with a power play goal take the lead 3-2.
Well, Anthony, Penalty kill woes continue. This one looks a little bit different than the PK goals they have given up. The point shot, the Ducks power play abysmal last year, just 8 total goals. Now this, their 6th on the year already. A lot of them coming from up top, just like this. Drysdale with the wrister, some traffic out in front. Eriksson Ek doing his best to get in the way of it. I think is that Comtois that tips it in front. Either way, it's redirected. Cam Talbot, that one finds its way right through the 7 hole. He can't track it in time. I think it's Raquel who got a piece of that one in the high slot. Couple of high tips that beat Talbot tonight. But Wild got to find a way. Shouldn't be that hard either. Give up on the stick infractions. Use your feet. Check with your feet. Not with your stick. Too much time in the box. Ducks power play capitalized.
Second time tonight that Anaheim has held a 1-goal lead. Kulikov. Wild efficiently out. Gaudreau to Rask. Chips down low and Fowler back after it. Lundestrom around behind the net. Steele got it out to the line, but Kulikov knocks it off of Silverberg's stick. Rask back into his own zone for Kulikov. And Kevin Fiala circles there for Minnesota. Fiala, one of 3 Wild players who has scored in each of the first 3 games coming into tonight. Foligno and Kaprizov the others. Fiala knocks this one back into the Minnesota zone. None of those 3 on the score sheet yet tonight for Minnesota. Hartman plays it across. Kulikov. Foligno has it knocked off his stick by Shattenkirk. Greenway on it. Foligno tried to cut to the middle. Gives to Greenway. Greenway fires from a sharp angle. And it deflects into the netting and out of play.
Good response shift out of this line. The big line on the forecheck again. Greenway, Foligno finding a way to win some battles off the wall. Get the puck to near the slot. Greenway lets to shoot this one. Just deflected wide. But a good little feed, attack the center of the ice. Greenway with the head up, looking pass. I think he's a pass first guy. It's Delorier. It's a stick on that one to put it up into the mesh.
Greenway, somewhat surprisingly, led the Wild in assists last season with 26. Scored just 6 goals. Malagoski got it through, saved Gibson, and he's able to cover with Hartman and Foligno there. Perhaps it's a heavy shift from a line like this that can change the way the game is flowing. There just hasn't been a lot of bite from the Wild so far tonight.
Well, that can change the tempo for sure. And you alluded to it earlier, Anthony. There hasn't been the physical response to a lot of this, and sometimes you can spark some energy with the physical play. Dean Evason likes these guys out there. They're battling 3 guys right in the paint. Get a couple of scoring chances. You touched on Greenway too, Anthony, and he did lead the team in assists last year. Not a small feat considering the fact that he didn't play on the power play, right? Led the team in points in the playoffs as well. He can play in big situations, but as he finds consistency using his body and doing those little things out in front of the cage, you should find him more dominant.
Hartman with a takeaway creates a chance. Greenway tried to center, and Gibson looking behind him after he covered with Foligno right in his face.
Just electing to leave these guys out there. Hey, as long as they're not leaving the offensive zone, I'm not going to take them off.
All of this started because of a good stick play by Hartman to hold the zone, and now they will change it up for the offensive zone draw. You mentioned it earlier. Eriksson Ek has been great on faceoffs, 61.3% so far this season, 5th in the league, averaging 12.5 faceoff wins per night.
Well, that's it. I mean, what an improvement on last year. 47%, and you've got to love that about him. Goes into the summer, signs a big contract, and what does he focus on? Faceoffs. Let's come out of the gate and win more faceoffs this year.
Puck comes out to center. Fowler. Henrique. One-touch pass at the Minnesota line. Raquel has it knocked off of his stick by Kaprizov. And Dumba going to find the handle on it. Henrique comes away with it. Henrique moving in, and a save by Talbot.
Those are the kind of saves you're talking about, Anthony, to keep them within 1. Henrique with the step does a good job dragging. Talbot aggressive, comes out, gets a shoulder on that one, but that was labeled for the top corner.
Could be a 3-on-2 here with Kaprizov. Tried to slide it across to Dumba, but Drysdale broke it up. Mahura takes a heavy hit. Kaprizov and Zuccarello trying to create something on the forecheck. Ducks start back with Mahura. Kulikov back for Minnesota, around behind the net for Merrill. Sturm, one touch ahead for Duhaime. Duhaime fights through a Shattenkirk check at the line. Mahura ridden off the puck by Bukestad. Sturm supports. Duhaime in the circle, couldn't get a shot away. Down to the line, Merrill, a long shot saved by Gibson. And once again, Minnesota's fourth line creating something with their forecheck. Duhaime absorbed a hit here after the play. I don't think anything's coming of this.
Shattenkirk, the veteran, didn't like the play, took Duhaime to the ice.
And I think there is going to be a penalty against the Ducks here. And justifiably so. I mean, Duhaime took the first hit, but then the extra cheap shot is what is called.
And
Time 15, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
So Getzlaf will go for cross-checking, and Getzlaf can't believe it.
Well, Duhaime, that's the penalty. I think Shattenkirk's a little upset on the battle in the corner from Duhaime. Getzlaf gives him the shot for flying by the tower of Gibson, and that's the one that they ultimately call. With the save, Anthony. Dumba gets his pocket picked here. Raquel Henrique. Henrique finds it with the step. Kaprizov tries to cover, can't get there, but a good shot. Look at that one, catches it off to 33, just above the elbow. Big save to keep them within one.
Dallas Eakins doesn't like the call.
It was a soft cross check, but again, these guys have to know by now we're 4 or 5 games into it. They are calling the cross check. That was after the whistle. Duhaime did his best to get out of Gibson's way. Simple save. Yes, I understand he's getting pushed. There's a battle there. But the refs are calling that by the letter of the law. You cross check, you're going.
And I wonder if there hadn't been Shattenkirk also pouncing on him, where they probably felt we got to take one of these two guys for what just happened. And Getzlaf's more egregious. Kaprizov in. Minnesota on the power play. Second power play chance for the Wild. First one was abbreviated. Spurgeon retreats. Wild power play has been good. 3 power play goals against the Jets. Zuccarello in. Tried to center. Loose puck back of the net. He threw it off the short side post. Kaprizov holds for Minnesota. Across. Zuccarello saved by Gibson.
When you see Gibson, what a save. Wow, he comes flying across, gets the pads on it, nearly does the split. Second chance opportunity, turns away as well.
Kaprizov comes through center. Gives to Zuccarello. Tried to go back to Kaprizov, but it was off target and cleared. Wild have scored 4 power play goals so far this season. Last year, they didn't get their 4th power play goal until their 52nd opportunity in game 14. Foligno centers! And we've got a penalty coming up. Delorier sends it ahead. Here comes Grew in, and it's tipped away by Dumba. Hartman was driving the net for Minnesota and looked like he was checked into the goaltender, but I think they're going to get Hartman for running John Gibson.
What a sequence here, Anthony. Looks like the Wild have a pseudo 2-on-1, or I should say 2-on-0 on Gibson. Hartman ends up taking the, see as he calls this. You got Mike out, but you can read the lips. That's goalie interference for sure. You got that right. Marcus does the good job, makes the read here, tries to hit Hartman back door. Hartman continues on, bulldozes him. Then on the other side, Matt Dumba did a great job on the back check, Anthony. Gets on the horse, breaks that play up because that was a breakaway. And this power play chance earlier, Zuccarello, that's the wraparound. This one, the save, or Gibson just selling out anything he can do to get a body part on that one. Gets the pad, gets the first save, the second save. A lot of action around Gibson's crease right now.
So it's 4-on-4, and then the Ducks will get about a minute and a half of a power play. Hartman was pleading the case that he was checked into the goaltender by Lindholm. And Lindholm clearly made contact with him, but it looked like Hartman was going to blast the goaltender whether Lindholm was involved or not.
Yeah, and those are the tough ones. What do you do if you're Ryan Hartman? I mean, that's a scoring chance. You've got to put your head down and go there. I think he does the right thing. Those are the kind of penalties that you're willing to live with on the Wild bench, though.
Duhaime lost it to Zegras, who plays it out to center. Getzlaf jumps out of the penalty box. Ducks are on the power play. Anaheim has scored 1 power play goal already in this game. Fiala shorthanded for Minnesota. Plays it back toward the line. Slides right in between Dumba and Brodin, and Dumba goes back to pick it up. Rims it around the wall and all the way out.
Got to like to see Fiala on the penalty kill here, getting some more responsibility on the defensive side of the puck. Does a good job in the offensive zone on the kill. Win that battle, send it down, kill a good 20-30 seconds.
Goudreau knocks this one away. Goudreau shorthanded. Drysdale back. Goudreau waiting for Fiala. Fires, and a save by Gibson. And there's an example of what you can get with Goudreau and Fiala on the penalty kill as they create an opportunity.
Dean Evason he's always been very complimentary of Freddie Goudreau, but one thing he always points to is how good he is with his stick. Yes, he has good hands, doesn't use them enough offensively, but where he does use them a lot is on the defensive side of the puck. There does a great job knocking this down. I think he had a step there, maybe could have taken that one to the net, thought he had a 2-on-1. He had the young D-man Drysdale, maybe take him to the cage and see what happens there. Pulls up, gets a sharp angle shot, but good play in the defensive zone, shorthanded for sure.
Fowler comes out for the Ducks. Henrique moving in, fired just wide. Fowler races over and holds his own. Henrique with a long shot. That deflects to the corner. Merrill got a stick on it. Off the back of the Minnesota goal, it comes loose to Silverberg. Into the middle, Fowler, who's been big on the power play so far this year. A goal and 3 helpers. Wild get it clear, down to 15 seconds in the man advantage. Henrique to Silverberg. Silverberg puts on the brakes. He had the only goal for the Ducks in the first meeting of the year between these teams. Wild won that one 2-1 on opening night at the Honda Center. Bukestad's pass just out of the reach of Greenway.
Almost a perfectly executed given goal for a breakaway. Greenway just outside his reach.
Wild are back at full strength. Ducks are 1 for 3 on the power play tonight. Matches their season average of 33%. Hartman hustling in with Drysdale back. Hartman races over, cannot quite get to the puck before it comes to neutral. Bukestad unable to deflect, so it'll be icing and a face-off back down in the Minnesota zone. Bukestad a part of that line to which we've referred a number of times tonight. Bukestad, Sturm, and Duhaime. And when you get a line that has the kind of identity that they do, they don't play big minutes, but they seem to impact the game. They have a good combination of speed and the willingness to play physical hockey.
And yeah, there's no question they play a certain style, and when Dean says he's got the best 4th line in hockey, I think that's what he means too, based on the style that he wants them to play into their identity. I tend to agree with him that there isn't any line better that's straight line. Like, no, they're not big, they're not physical, they're not going to come out and beat you up like some 4th lines. But they are going to pressure you. They are going to change momentum. They are going to be in your face all night long and frustrate you.
Zuccarello just out of the reach of Kaprizov. Lundestrom back for the Ducks. Steele to the Minnesota line. Raquel forced outside by Brodin. Lindholm leaves it back for Steele. Manson waits for the carom and fires, a block by Hartman. Zuccarello now after it for Minnesota. Manson with it in the corner. Battling there with Brodin. Kaprizov comes to center. Kaprizov has Zuccarello with him. Poke checked away, supported by Rask. Rask tried to get it into the corner. Instead goes to the line for Dumba. Dumba's shot blocked by Raquel, and it comes back out to center.
A lot of shots being blocked here tonight. In the defensive zone, for sure, the Wild forwards doing a good job. Maybe be a little tighter on those D. You don't give us so many shots, so you don't have to block them, but they've done a good job getting in front of them.
Kaprizov wheels and fires and nearly caught Gibson by surprise. But the goaltender covers, and we get a whistle with the Ducks in front 3-2. block here on a 92-mile-an-hour shot.
Well, Manson loads it up. Zuccarello does a good job, a little limp there, but he's been all over the ice and really maturing. His game has been along with himself.
See our Toyota Key stat. It shows you what Zuccarello did in his career the first 8 years and the last 4. There's no slowing down for this guy. In fact, his numbers are slightly better over the last 4. They'd be even significantly higher if not for the 1 year he was battling injuries here with the Wild.
I like that you use the term slowing down too, Anthony, because his game for me, it's not predicated on athleticism or speed or things like that. It's the smarts. And the more he gets to play with these guys, the more he learns their game, specifically Kaprizov, the better they're getting. As you can see, the stats show it, right? Like, the chemistry's there. They've got it figured out. Offensively, they're a threat every time they get on the ice.
He's 34 years old. It's not like we're talking about a guy who's 40 who you'd expect to not be able to move anymore, but it's significant that the numbers haven't waned in any area over the last 4 seasons.
And again, I think for me, that's because his game is about intelligence, and he can read the ice, read the players, and he makes people around him better.
Lindholm fires from the wall, knocked away by Talbot, recovered by Fiala. Spins away from Comtois. Gaudreau back to Fiala. Fiala bumped by Getzlaf. Keeps the puck. Duhaime for Gaudreau. Back to Duhaime. And he hit the side of the net with it. Fiala to Duhaime off the end boards. Fiala supports. Gaudreau on it there. Out to the line, Goligoski. Fiala in behind the net. Spins back. Sharp angle shot, and it deflects up into the netting and out of play. Kevin Fiala continues to be very visible tonight.
Yeah, he was, and this time he gets a shot of speed into the line with him. Rask now being traded out. Duhaime a chance with those guys. Front line speed creates a little space. Kevin Fiala with a good chance coming out of the corner. But yeah, he's been effective. Nice look here as he wins that battle, twists it out. He's doing his job behind the goal line too. Fantastic look. He had that top cornered label, just couldn't hit it.
Duhaime with Fiala and Gaudreau creates just a slightly different feel. Rask maybe more of a skilled playmaker. Duhaime with more speed. Foligno with it in the corner. Merrill to Kulikov, a long shot. That was blocked by Delorier. Foligno comes away with it. Tried to flip one back for Kulikov. Comes loose at center. Merrill's there for Minnesota. Gibson leaves it for Shattenkirk. He's hit by Greenway. Greenway now on it along the wall. Tried to center. Mahura got there before Hartman. Foligno grabs a loose puck for Minnesota. Works by Mahura. Foligno on his backhand. Drops it back. Merrill scores! First with the Wild, and it's 3-3.
Is that Larry Bird, the green sweater, or is that Johnny Merrill? He gets his first with the Wild. Another great shift from this line in the offensive zone. Couple physical plays. First, Jordan Greenway wins one. Then Foligno does a good job protecting the puck below the goal line. John Merrill sees that, activates, come into the play. While they're at their best, when these D are involved offensively, jumps into the hole. Foligno finds him. Johnny Merrill puts one on the net. 5-hole. Come back, kids, do it again. 3-3, Anthony.
4th game in a row with a point for Marcus Foligno. The Ducks talking about a challenge.
It might be goaltender interference they're looking at. Ryan Hartman in front. He's got his skates are in the paint. I don't know if it impedes Gibson from getting out there. I think that's the argument.
Although the linesmen are going to the box, so that would lead you to believe it's offside.
That the play was offside prior to the goal.
And that is, in fact, the challenge.
Can you challenge 2 plays?
On the same play?
So
let's say they call it onside, then could you go back and challenge again and say goaltender interference?
Go down 5-on-3?
Could be 5-on-3 if you lost them both.
The offside play had to be early. Jordan Greenway did a job over on the half-wall bench side, winning a battle. I think the puck goes up to the blue line. Eventually, I believe it stays in. That's where it goes to the far side, where Marcus eventually picked it up.
Well, we had a number of conversations with Dean Evison after the big offside challenge that swung the game against the Jets here on Tuesday night, and he talked about the fact that those replay guys are constantly watching, and as soon as a puck comes into the zone while the play is going on, they're going back and watching it just on the chance that if something were to happen, they want to know immediately if they have grounds for a challenge. And apparently the Ducks video guys felt like this one was worth a look.
And I think you can think about it this way, Anthony. That was a quick challenge. The Ducks were on it right off the bat, and that shift had played out a while, so maybe they had a good amount of time to look at it. But if we're reading lips on the Wild bench, Evison believes, for whatever angle he's looking at on the bench, that was no goal. Certainly that's what he was saying. To me, Evison looks more confident in this than Akins does right now.
This is already the third challenge that we've seen in Wild games this year. Each of the first two were successful challenges. Watch it on the near blue line. I mean, the puck was already in. The key is that they all have to leave the zone simultaneously. They all have to be outside the zone for it to then become onside. So it looks to me like the puck's already in. It's just a matter of, did the other player get back in before everybody had vacated? So the linesmen continue to look at this. So now watch Greenway up on the top. The puck is clearly in, but does everybody get outside the zone? Greenway's the guy on the top and Hartman's on the bottom. It looks to me like he clearly gets outside the zone.
For me, it's Hartman. Was Hartman out of the zone by the time the puck went back in? And then,
well, he can come back out after the puck goes in to tag up. As long as
onside, we have a good goal.
Yeah, so it is onside as long as Greenway's still out. So the puck was clearly in before Hartman came out.
Right.
But did Hartman get out of the zone before Greenway entered? And the answer is yes. So Minnesota successfully ties this game at 3-3. An unsuccessful challenge for the Ducks, and now Minnesota will get a power play.
And that's the risky run, Anthony. Close call by the Ducks, but they lose that challenge. Wild get the good goal. Now on the power play, Ducks found themselves with a 1-goal lead just a moment to go. Now they're killing one off. Wild with a chance, and the Wild have always been so far early on this year, very opportunistic. If you give them a little bit of life, give them an inch, they'll take a mile. We'll see what they do on this power.
So Merrill's goal stands, his first with the Wild. Wild already got the first NHL goal from Duhaime and the first of the season for Spurgeon tonight. Now Kaprizov in on the power play, rifles one up high. Gibson may have gotten a piece of it, sounded like it caught iron. Fiala now with it for Minnesota. Fiala into the corner, Zuccarello, back to Fiala. Spurgeon, Kaprizov, fires, save Gibson, rebound loose, shoved just wide. Fiala out to the line for Spurgeon. Back to Kaprizov, moving in, centers, and Zuccarello could not redirect. Those two have been just off all night.
Boy, to me, Anthony, it looks like Kaprizov has said he's got no goals, 5 assists. That shift, it looked like he's ready to score.
Fiala in for Minnesota. Back to Eriksson Ek. Cut off by Delorier. To Spurgeon. Kaprizov. Back for Fiala. Across to Zuccarello. Fiala. Spurgeon. Fiala. Walks to the middle, looking for a lane, fires, and it's off a stick and out of play. Join Valley Sports North in Feed My Starving Children's efforts to support children of Haiti in the aftermath of the August 14th earthquake. Feed My Starving Children's meals provide critical food stability in times of crisis. To donate, please go to fmsc.org/earthquake. Wild win the draw. Half a minute left in the power play. Goligoski for Dumba. Winds, fires, save Gibson. Foligno on the rebound. He put it behind Gibson and right through the blue paint.
Wow, Foligno does a good job. Doesn't panic with it. Waits, tries to skate around Gibson, tuck it in that short side post. Sneaks through, but nobody there to just pound it in.
Foligno trying to get it to the line. Ducks clear. And that will do it on Minnesota's power play. So Anaheim's unsuccessful challenge allows the tying goal to stand for Minnesota, but no further damage with the Minnesota power play. Now Comtois in, fires, and a save by Talbot. He hangs on. We are back to even in St. Paul.
Look at Dmitry Kulikov, one of the new blue liners for Minnesota. We talked to Dean Evison. He said he's really been a nice addition to that third pairing. Good offensive skills, but like John Merrill, responsible, able to efficiently leave the zone. They played well off each other. And an interesting fact, guys, he started as a young kid figure skating in Russia, but switched to hockey when he got hurt. The toe pick got tossed.
He said he fell and hurt his elbow and said, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too rough.
Can we put pads on and say you're going to have to play hockey? He said, okay. Turns out it worked out pretty well.
Foligno battling along the end wall. Raquel there for the Ducks. Loose puck. Hartman fires. Save Gibson. Foligno on the rebound. Tried to reverse course, but Raquel ties him up. Hartman knocks another puck loose. He's had a nose for the puck all night tonight. Dumba in the corner. Jumps around to check. Dumps a referee. Puck comes loose to the line. Hartman races over, holds his own. It skips by Greenway back of the net. Brodin got there quickly for Minnesota. Wild defenseman, always so aggressive. Greenway back of the net, defended by Fowler. Tried to get it to Hartman. Comes out to the line, Dumba with it. Dumba works to the middle. Tried to thread one through, taken away by Henrique. It's a 2-on-1 for the Ducks. Brodin hustling back. Zegras joins the rush. So does Raquel. Brodin got a stick on the centering pass, and that allows Talbot to cover. What great hustle by Brodin coming back to defend this Anaheim rush. Back to the start of last season, he averages almost 3 points per 60. 11th best in the NHL.
Well, I think when you play physical like that, you find some room on the ice. He's able to capitalize and put some goals in. On pace for 54 fights this year. Also on pace for 54 goals. I think if you asked him, he'd take both of those if he could do it, right? But it's certainly coming to a point where it's like, hey, maybe we won't need him to fight a little less because he's contributing so much offensively. You want him on the ice.
He's always said he's willing to fight, loves to play physically, but is convinced that he has more to bring to the table, and he's shown that over the last 2 years.
Well, and I don't think they're independent of each other, Anthony. I do believe the fact that he's tough and the way he plays the game gives himself a little bit more room out there. Guys respect him. Takes a word or two, and he gets a little, little respect, right? And he does a good job of capitalizing on it offensively.
Bukestad brings it in for Minnesota. Bukestad swings wide against Shattenkirk. Rebound saved by Gibson. He stopped Duhaime twice from the slot. Shattenkirk back in.
Yeah, this fourth line so far just great tonight, Anthony. Duhaime gets his first, almost his second. Backhand. Don Gibson's had to make some saves to keep that line off the score sheet again.
Rask with it. Across to Kulikov. He floats it down into the corner so Minnesota can change defenseman. Fiala pushed it back to Spurgeon and across to Goligoski. Now ahead to Gaudreau. Looking for Fiala at center, and it deflects up into the Ducks bench. So we get a whistle with 3.5 to play. Gibson, even though beaten 3 times, has made some huge saves tonight.
And we've given a lot of credit to Duhaime and Stern, but how about the start to Nick Bukestad season too? What a great play there. Uses his length, wins this battle, gets it to the front of the net. Duhaime charging it, backhand, almost gets it over the pad of Gibson for the lead. But that fourth line meant, you sound like a broken record, Anthony. They've been dominant tonight.
Spurgeon chased by Henrique. Such a luxury for Dean Evison. It was one of the big reasons for Minnesota's success last year is he felt they had a depth advantage almost every night all season long. It's been the case here in the early going this year.
I think you got to look at the culture in the system too, because there are some new bodies on there. You've got Duhaime, take out Bonino or some other guys, but whoever they plug in, and whether that's the third pair on defense or guys on the fourth line, they're getting contributions from up and down the lineup everywhere. And that's not to take anything away from Duhaime or this third pair, but the systems and the coaching style that these guys are playing within, it's helping them out.
Wild whistled offside. Front end of back-to-back games for Minnesota. They'll face Nashville here tomorrow night. The Predators are in action tonight in Winnipeg against the Jets. Fast start to that game. Each team scored a goal in the first 2.5 minutes. And it's 1-1 late in the first. Jets finally got in the win column against this Ducks club. After leaving St. Paul, Winnipeg went home and took care of business in their home opener, beat the Ducks 5-1. Gibson leaves it to Drysdale. Silverberg defended along the wall. Lindholm back to pick it up. Hit by Kaprizov in the corner. Eriksson trying to support the play. Brodin retreats. Jonas Brodin ahead for Kaprizov. I know Dean Evison was asked about trying to manufacture the same kind of intensity that we saw here against Winnipeg the other night, because that was a division rival. This is a Ducks team that is not, although they faced these teams 8 times last year. Here's Zuccarello with a shot. It was deflected. Do you think there's anything to that for why this game has just had a little bit of a dead feel compared to Tuesday night's home opener?
Well, I think some of it is that. I think some of it also, Anthony, is as a team you always try to make the other team play your game. I think the Ducks have done a better job of that, making the Wild play the Duck game versus the Ducks playing the Wild game. And because of that, the Ducks want you to play kind of a boring, slow, non-physical game. That's kind of what we've seen.
Zuccarello plays it in. Manson to Fowler. 97 seconds left in the second period. Each team scored twice in the first. Each team has scored once here in the second. Stay connected and get the best Wild content, ticket and retail offers, and more delivered directly to you. Get started at wild.com/connect. Wild started play tonight with a perfect 3-0 mark, tied for the top in the Central with the St. Louis Blues. Dallas also has 3 wins, but they've done it in 5 games with a 3-2 mark. Foligno with a takeaway just inside the line. Hartman couldn't find the handle on it. Kulikov back into his own zone. Merrill's there. And now Foligno with it. Kulikov to Foligno. Withstands a Manson hit. Got it to Greenway. He was defended by Fowler. Greenway in the corner trying to kick it loose. Comtois knocked to the ice by Greenway. Hartman back to Merrill. And now Kulikov for Merrill in the middle. Greenway tried to center it, hit a skate. Kulikov pinches in. Able to hold the zone. A bouncing puck. Greenway sidestep Fowler, and this puck goes into the bench area. Get a little bit of pushing and shoving with Greenway involved in front of the Minnesota bench.
Yeah, Greenway's been active physically, wins a couple of battles. That shift specifically a little bit more physical than any we've seen yet. How about the open ice hit on Foligno? Good battle there. Greenway wins that one, keeps possession. Another one later on in the shift in the center of the ice, but he's using that frame well.
.40 to go. Gaudreau will take this draw.
Anthony, we talked about this. Now Dean Evison's got Fiala and Kaprizov out there. This is the opportunity for these guys late in games. See, we're only in the second period, but you've got 40 seconds before a break. Let's see if these guys can create something.
You know, offensive zone face-off. Last minute of a period. Why not? Fiala works by Henrique to Gaudreau. Back to Goligoski, a shot, and it was deflected. Ducks clear. It'll be icing against Anaheim, and Wild will get another offensive zone face-off against some tired Ducks with 12.9 left. We wondered over the course of the season. Now, Dean has made it clear he wants to keep Fiala and Kaprizov on different lines to create balance, and it all makes sense. But every once in a while, you get these kind of chances. Why not throw them out there together and see what happens?
And they've given this Gaudreau line a couple different looks. They had Duhaime for a shift. They've obviously had Rask to start the night. Now Kaprizov the last 40. Just trying to get some guys through here, see what look they like.
Getzlaf drawing against Gaudreau. Gaudreau trying to kick it back to the line. Getzlaf instead controls. Raquel scrambles over and is able to clear the zone. That should bring us to the end of the period. And we once more will head to the locker rooms even. This time it's 3-3.
Ducks get one on the power play first. Wild counter, tie it up 3-3. I thought the Wild, as that period wore on, they got better, controlled most of the play. Ducks really didn't generate much offensively at all. 20 minutes left for the Wild to complete this comeback, their fourth of the year.
John Merrill scored his first of the season for Minnesota to tie the game at 3. He will chat with Kevin Gorg during our upcoming second intermission. Ducks and Wild dead even.
On Valley Sports North is brought to you by Toyota. Dear driver, hurry in and save. Toyota. By Connecticut. Better water flows from better thinking. And by Car Shield. Car Shield, cars go farther.
A good one in downtown St. Paul. Ducks 3 and the Wild 3. And the man next to me has his first goal in a Wild sweater. He is John Merrill. And we're used to seeing Anaheim play a zone-to-zone game, slow things down. Not the case. They've got some good transitional speed. As a D-man, how do you slow them down?
I think it just comes to managing the puck. When we've got the puck and we're doing the right things with it, we're getting it behind their D, and they're having a tough time with us down in their own end. So we got to stick to that game plan.
We see the awesome mustache, and we had pictures in our broadcast earlier of the Halloween party. You pulled off one of the greatest costumes I've ever seen, the Larry Bird. What was the inspiration for that?
Well, I kind of started Googling like costumes with guys with mullets, and he was one of the first ones that came up. And I like basketball. I love Larry Bird. I'm a big fan, so it worked out great.
You looked great. Congrats on that first goal. Good luck in the third.
Thank you very much.
John Merrill, the former Michigan Wolverine, pretty good basketball player, too. He's not joking around. The guy can play. What an athlete. 3-3 game. We'll take a look around the league when we come back.
America's Studio Sports Update. You can hang out with us all night long as over on our Bally Sports North Plus channel, the Wolves are taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. And on Bally Sports North Extra, Minnesota United is taking on LAFC. We got your Saturday night covered right here on Bally Sports North.
Over in St. Paul, the Wild once again playing come-from-behind hockey, have a 3-3 tie with the Ducks through 40 minutes. It's time for our Minnesota Lottery. Look around the league. How about Elias Lindholm and the Calgary Flames? Second career hat trick. They were up 3-0 in that game against Washington, blew the lead, but Lindholm gets the overtime winner. Big team here, the Florida Panthers. They were one of the picks by all the pundits before the season to make a cup run, and why not? Sergei Bobrovsky off to a hot start. He's got Spencer Knight, the young star goalie, waiting in the wings. What a tandem the Panthers have. They're looking to see if he can go 4-0 for the first time since 2017. And a very special night in Seattle, Climate Pledge Arena. It's finally here. NHL hockey returns as the Kraken have their home opener, and it's just a 2.5-hour drive, so I'm sure a lot of Vancouver Canucks fans will keep a close eye on that one. Right here, we're keeping a close eye on a good game. Stats and highlights of a 3-3 tie through 2 are next.
Your home for Valley Sports North is brought to you by Grand Casino. Let your story begin. And by Luther Group. Shop the Twin Cities' largest selection of vehicles at lutherauto.com. 3-3 after 2. Here's the Grand Casino story of the game. Lindholm holds his own. His shot out front. They score. Third shot. They score. It's deflected out front. Duhaime this time should get credit for his first to the NHL. Up high for Goligoski. Works to the middle. Spurgeon winds, fires, scores!
Drysdale moves in for a shot, and that went off a skating wide. Wild were worried about getting called for too many men, and the Ducks tip it in and take advantage. Rebound Getzlaf. Drysdale looking, fires, they score. This one's tipped by Comtois. Foligno grabs a loose puck for Minnesota. Works by Mahura. Foligno on his backhand, drops it back. Merrill scores! First with the Wild, and it's 3-3. Through 2 periods, Minnesota started to tilt the ice their way in the second. The shots on goal and shot attempts show that.
Well, they certainly started to pull away, scoring chances as well. If they continue to impose their will, the big line has been great. Greenway, Foligno, they play hard in the offensive zone. They'll get looks, and they'll find a way to put the Ducks away.
Third period face-off as Minnesota tries to make it 4 for 4 to start the season. Next. Brandon Duhaime with his first NHL goal earlier tonight. Jared Spurgeon, the Minnesota captain, has also scored tonight. Duhaime with a game-high 5 shots on goal through 2 periods. John Merrill with his first goal in a Wild sweater. And Minnesota has overcome a couple of 1-goal deficits in this game. Also let one lead get away. And it's 3-3 as we start the third period. Second game of a 3-game homestand for Minnesota. Nashville here tomorrow night. Goligoski trying to clear the zone. Loose puck skips back into the corner. Goligoski on it there. Around behind for Spurgeon. He avoids steal. Foligno defended by Manson. Spurgeon over to pick it up. Greenway. Back to Goligoski. Chipped ahead by Hartman. Here's a chance for Zegras. Zegras' pass easily knocked away by Dumba.
Well, how about that play by Dumba? Good stick there. It looked like Zegras was getting ready to turn the Jets on, going for a breakaway. He had a player with him. Dumba with a good read and a good stick to break it up.
Zegras with a takeaway here, and Henrique with a close range shot that's knocked away by Talbot. Zegras, a player that throughout his career we've seen make plays like that, then have seen him disappear for 20 minutes in a game.
Yeah, and that can be the issue with him, but when he gets a chance, he can score. I think that is Zegras on this side. Dumba does a good job catching up with the play, gets his body set, takes away the pass. Zegras goes no look back there trying to hit Raquel, who should be in there, but good defensive play.
Getzlaf throws it on goal, saved by Talbot. Loose puck fired off the end wall by Zuccarello, who now starts ahead. Zuccarello to Kaprizov. Sturm into Ducks territory. He's defended there by Drysdale. Getzlaf plays it around. Dumba holds. Zuccarello with it. In for Dumba. Kaprizov trying to center. Zuccarello was in behind the defense, and it just missed.
Wow, they just know where each other are on the ice, don't they? Anthony Kaprizov with a no look sees Zuccarello streaking down the backside and just narrowly misses the connection.
In the middle, Dumba well defended. Angles there with Terry. The puck comes out to center. Brodin across to Zuccarello. Looking for Dumba at the Ducks line. Lindholm sends it in the other way. Fiala to Rask at center. Rask softly throws it toward the net. Gibson easily steers that aside. Fiala intercepts, got it to Kulikov. Back for Rask, moving in, it's off the post. Henrique with it. Gaudreau intercepts and gives to Kulikov. Wild come through center. Goudreau splits the defense. A backhander right on and a save by Gibson.
Wild coming out of the gates hot. Good chance here. I think this is Fiala off the crossbar. Kulikov does a good job in the corner here. Nice little play trying to feed Rask. Eventually the puck finds its way to Fiala's stick. He's got the wide open net. Goes off the crossbar. Then Goudreau backhand. Doesn't get a ton on it. On the net right in the Ducks emblem. Gibson able to swallow that one up. But boy, good chance for Fiala. Wide open net. Just hits the crossbar.
Manson around the wall. Silverberg defended by Goligoski. Lindholm got it up the wall. Eriksson Ek intercepts at center ice. Evason, at least this first time through, juggling things a little bit. Had Eriksson Ek with Duhaime and Bukestad. Sturm took that first shift with Zuccarello and Kaprizov.
Yeah, the first one didn't know if that was a face-off or a change type of situation, but certainly there he put Ek out with Duhaime and Bukestad, so trying something different.
Just over 3 minutes into the third period. Getzlaf on the draw for the Ducks. Always one of the go-to guys on faceoffs. 8-5 through the first 2 periods for Anaheim tonight. Beaten this time by Hartman. Clearing attempt. Getzlaf intercepts. Got it through. Delorier centers, and it bounces off the top of the net. Terry was driving the Minnesota goal. Talbot slow to his feet, but now back up. Greenway comes to center and plays it in. Delorier had him in his sights all the way up the ice. Now Delorier with it. Getzlaf in the corner. Centers. A one-timer there. Knocked away by Kulikov. Picked up by Greenway. Foligno able to chip it by Manson. Minnesota changing. Fowler trying to catch him. Brodin steps up at the Minnesota line. Eriksson Ek races back around. Now he's back with his normal line mates on this shift. And Zuccarello comes ahead. His pass behind Eriksson Ek. Fowler across to Manson. Zuccarello with it. Had it knocked away by Manson. Zegras centers, and Talbot got a pad on that one.
Well, Zegras is an opportunistic player. Quick attack. He finds some open space. He's off to the races offensively. Adam Henrique has known that.
Eriksson Ek's in, just too far on the back door for Dumba. Now Brodin with it. Brodin centers, and Zuccarello redirects just wide. Dumba centers again. It went right past Eriksson Ek. Eriksson Ek with a hit in the corner and a penalty coming against Anaheim. Now they're pointing at both of them. Eriksson Ek and Lindholm might both be headed here.
Lindholm signaling dive from Eriksson Ek.
That's, I believe, what it is. I've always wondered why we don't see, if you really thought it was just embellishment, then why call the cross-check?
Yeah,
I mean, not all the time, but there are times where it's not worthy of a penalty, and if the guy dives, then let's just see that call.
Right, I agree, and I don't necessarily think the calls are independent of each other. I think you can have a penalty and embellishment at the same time. I don't think that's always the case. Talbot with another game-saving, potentially game-saving save. Good one here on Henrique. Zegras with the drive. Henrique to the net. Tip. Talbot has had to make some big saves.
He has, no doubt.
The Wild have controlled some play. Ducks get their quick strike chance. He makes the save. Now we'll see what the Wild can do on the offensive end of the ice.
Goligoski hustles down. It's 4-on-4 hockey. And to be clear, in this case, I think the officials probably got it right. It was a cross check, and it did look like Eriksson might have flopped.
Yeah, and I don't think that's the type of player Eck is. Maybe he's trying to avoid something else as well, but I agree with you that this is a good call.
Silverberg leaves it for Shattenkirk. Lundestrom down low. Works to the slot. Gaudreau with a block. Fiala scrambling over. Hands it off for Goligoski to Gaudreau. And back of the net, Spurgeon. 70 seconds in the minors against Lindholm for the Ducks and Eriksson for the Wild. Here comes Fiala. Spun around as he tried to crisscross through neutral ice. Kaprizov just off the bench comes up with a loose puck. Kaprizov in, gives to Zuccarello. Zuccarello trying to go back to Kaprizov. He recovers along the wall. Knocked away by Drysdale. Terry with it. Lost it. Zuccarello comes up with a loose puck. Wanted to go to Kaprizov, but he was picking up his stick. Now a pass intended for Brodin, intercepted by Getzlaf. Ryan Getzlaf lugs it through neutral ice. Raquel looking for Fowler, moving in, saved by Talbot. A sliding save by the Minnesota goaltender denies Cam Fowler. And we remain even 3-3. Talbot standing large in the Minnesota net here in the third. Game summary. We've been going back and forth throughout the night. Raquel scored first. Minnesota answered with a couple of goals. Duhaime and then Spurgeon. Wild were in front 2-1. Then the Ducks got a couple. First it was Terry. Then it was Raquel. And Anaheim had another lead. Minnesota then answered with John Merrill's first goal in a Wild sweater. Ducks and Wild even 3-3. Ducks have had 2 leads. The Wild have had 1. Kulikov to the Duck line. Duhaime relays it in. Sturm along the wall. Zegras trying to dig it loose for the Ducks. Duhaime lifted the stick of Manson. Puck goes around behind, but Fowler's there. Eriksson and Lindholm out of the penalty box, and now it's 5-on-5. Manson able to bank it off the boards past Bukestad. Merrill back to pick it up for the Wild. Wild have been a good third period team this season, even in terms of goal differential, while the Ducks on the other hand are -4, but Minnesota +16 in shots. Here's a quick word from Arby's.
Real country style ribs on an Arby's sandwich.
Kevin Fiala has been all over the ice tonight for Minnesota. 6 shot attempts for Fiala. It's Fiala, Gaudreau, and Rask on this offensive zone draw. 12.5 to go. Ducks clear, and icing immediately waved off. Talbot gives it to Gaudreau. Goligoski ahead to Rask. At center, just out of the reach of Spurgeon, and Minnesota's whistled down offside. Dean has also shown the willingness to go to whatever line he thinks is bringing the most. Right now in a tie game, which line do you think he leans on the rest of the way?
I think he does have to like this line a lot, and specifically Fiala's game. Gaudreau, a perfect compliment for Fiala, especially in this spot. Hey, Kevin, go win us a game right now. And then you've got Gaudreau, who he can trust defensively, jump up there in the play with Kevin Fiala. I think he's got to like the way that this line is played. I think the fact he's tried a couple things on the first line, maybe putting Sturm there, he maybe wants a little more from those guys. But between the Fiala line and then the Greenway, Foligno, those guys, they've been good too.
Talbot sets it up for Goligoski. Gaudreau with it. Spurgeon to Fiala. Finds Rask. Rask looking, fanned on it. Terry takes it away. And Shattenkirk dumps it in. Dumba there in the corner. He and Getzlaf battle for the puck. A centering pass comes loose, and a backhander by Comtois went just wide.
Well, the Ducks have had a couple chances on Talbot, but thankfully for the Wild, it's been on their backhands.
Terry moving in. Plays it in back of the net. Shattenkirk never shy about jumping up in the offensive zone. His long shot knocked down. Goligoski sends it across. Here's Fiala with Fowler back. Fiala spins to the backhand, tried to come back to the forehand and lost control of the puck. Terry hands it off for Zegras into the Minnesota zone. Comtois fires and that goes wide. Kaprizov able to knock it ahead, but Lindholm gets back defensively. Zegras there to support. And Zegras wheels out of his own zone across to Manson. Manson for Raquel. Just couldn't redirect it. Eriksson controls for the Wild. Zuccarello coming off a 4-point night Tuesday against the Jets. Third career 4-point night. Second since coming to Minnesota. Brodin throws a long one on goal and Gibson hangs on.
Earlier it was Cam Fowler with the backhand chance in the slot. This one's Comtois. Missed that one on the short side, but the Wild, a little bit of room in front of the net there. Cam Talbot, I think, was on that one. Good stick by Gaudreau. Again, that's why Dean Evason loves him. He's got such a good stick in the defensive zone. Responsible player. He's usually the center, covering up there for a wing. Somebody else down low makes a play.
We got a little repair work being done just to the right of Anaheim goaltender John Gibson. Join Bally Sports North, Sinclair Cares, and Luther Auto in supporting disabled American veterans. DAV provides valuable resources for veterans and their families, helping more than 1 million vets each year. Visit sinclaircares.com to volunteer, donate, or learn how you can help our veterans. Hartman on the draw against Getzlaf. Greenway hands it off to Merrill at the line, then got it through to Hartman. His shot blocked. And the Ducks have numbers coming back with Shattenkirk.
Hartman had a screen in front, but just couldn't corral that one.
Steele hit by Foligno. Greenway sends it in behind the net. Here comes Kulikov. We're past halfway through the third. Greenway to Kulikov at the Duck line. A centering pass intended for Foligno. He finds it back of the net. Merrill steps up, got a stick on that to hold the zone. Foligno back to Merrill. Merrill looking, and then his shot is deflected and out of play. 9.5 left here in St. Paul, and it's all even.
Offensively again here tonight. He's done a lot of things, Anthony. He's found the soft spot, gotten some shots, won battles in the offensive zone, took the puck to the net. He's been great. His best chance, maybe his last chance. Again, this is another one, just taking it from the goal line out to the net, attacking. But this is the good one, Anthony. Off the crossbar, full cage. He flexed the stick on that one, wishes he had it back, but very active. Another strong performance from him. Again, 10 minutes left while they're going to be leaning on him to get the winner.
Delorier with it for the Ducks. He springs Manson, who winds and fires, saved by Talbot. Rebound scooped up by Goligoski. He wheels out of the Minnesota zone. Bukestad to the Duck line. Puck comes loose to Getzlaf. To Terry. Back for Getzlaf. Getzlaf had his shot knocked away by Spurgeon. 57th time Getzlaf has played against the Wild in the regular season. 38 career points in those meetings. Picked up a couple of assists here tonight. Delorier flipped it wide. Sturm got it to the line. Loose puck. Raquel. His shot blocked by Spurgeon. Back for Drysdale. Whipped it across, but Sturm handles the carom off the wall. His pass behind Duhaime. And here's another chance for Henrique, who sent it wide. Henrique and Spurgeon battle in the corner. Out to the line, a long shot by Lindholm blocked. Duhaime picks it up off the wall. Wanted Fiala, it's too far for him. Gibson forced to play it. And Drysdale's pass deflected by Rask, out of play.
Henrique's had more than a couple good looks, and there's going to be a line out the door who gets to play with Zegras and Raquel. Obviously, he's the guy on the left side here tonight, but a couple of good looks. Cam Talbot's had to make some saves. That line, quick attack. You can see Zegras' speed. When he gets it going, he's kind of giving the Wild some trouble. But again, Wild on the back end doing a good job blocking shots coming into the game. They were 4th in shots blocked per game played. Right back on it. Jared Spurgeon with a couple of huge ones that shift.
Gaudreau wins the draw for Minnesota, but it comes all the way back into Wild ice. Dumba sets up back of the net. Dumba connects with Gaudreau at center. Nifty move to gain the zone, then it's poked off of his stick. Brodin supports, and the Wild are offside.
A sneaky good play coming out of his own zone. Gaudreau, look off. Quick little play with the hands. The legs going.
Gaudreau's taken a lot of draws tonight. Had taken just 22 in the first 3 games. He's now taken 16 tonight. Fowler played it around. Lundestrom comes to center. Tried to get it to Silverberg. Comtois for Fowler. Back to Comtois, who deflected it over the top of the goal. Shattenkirk has it. Lundestrom races out of his own zone. Raquel deflects it in for the Ducks. Shots 30-20 in Minnesota's favor at this point. Here's Manson moving in, and his shot is blocked by Dumba. Dumba shaken up a bit. Wild able to clear, and that'll give him time to get to the bench.
Well, another big block. This one from Dumba. The Wild may be giving up a little bit too much in the offensive zone, but they're covering it with these blocks. Cam Talbot has to be happy with the guys in front of him.
Good stick by Eriksson Ek at center. And he plays it down into the Ducks zone. Lindholm tied up by Zuccarello. Zuccarello back to Merrill. Winds, fires, saved by Gibson. Raquel over the Minnesota line. Hit by Kulikov. Those players both go down in a heap in the corner. And Kaprizov emerges for the Wild. Got it to Merrill. Merrill plays it softly down into Ducks territory. Shattenkirk back to pick it up. Against pressure from Kaprizov. And now Shattenkirk. Got it ahead to Raquel. Off the boards. Ducks want to change. Merrill starts it back for Minnesota. And the Wild are going to change as well. Kulikov with a long pass off the stick of Hartman, but Wild whistled down offside. Matt Dumba has come in as one of the top shot blockers in the NHL. 4th in the league, averaging about 3.5 per night. This one a painful one.
Yeah, you see him walking down the tunnel. That's not a good thing. Catches him right above the knee pad there, but he does a good job getting in front of it. Earlier, Jared Spurgeon, he appreciates the effort. Those ones hurt. Spurgeon, if you recall, took one last game too on the inside of the knee. He had to have a walk down the tunnel to get it off, but we've got Matt Dumba coming back, so that's a good sign.
Getzlaf wins the draw. Looking to escape Hartman in the corner. Long-time Ducks captain played it to Delorier. Wild takeaway. Greenway goes cross ice for Foligno. Fowler back for the Ducks. Fowler has it stripped by Foligno. His pass just too far for Hartman, who's in early and offside. Matt Dumba once again has been very active for Minnesota. Always a part of the offense and one of the top shot blockers in the league.
Anaheim Anaheim 3 and Minnesota 3 as we come down the stretch. Stay with us right after the game for the post-game show, Wild Live. We'll take a look at a special night for Brandon Duhaime, who gets his first ever in the NHL. We'll show you how the Wild have activated their defensemen to get involved in the offense once again. A couple of blue liners with goals. We'll hear from the head coach, guys. Dean Evason, another game that comes down to the wire. Evason and the Wild should be used to it. It's been the norm here throughout the year early on.
They've been in dogfights every single night. 3 one-goal games so far this season, and not surprising to see these teams locked up in another tight one. Goligoski with it here. They played a 1-goal game in Anaheim on opening night. Wild won that one 2-1. Steele with it. Back to Manson. And he fires it into the Minnesota zone. Greenway defending behind the Minnesota goal. Knocks Lundestrom to the ice. Spurgeon jamming away. Ducks control. Manson shot. Deflected to the wall. Scooped up by Greenway. Wild plus 11 in shots tonight. Came in 4th best in the league in shot differential at plus 27. The Ducks near the bottom, minus 31. Only Columbus and Dallas were the worst shots on goal differential. Sturm. Zegras stood up at the Minnesota line by Dumba, and then a shot right on, held by Talbot. Just more of the same between the Wild and the Ducks. Last 11 head-to-head meetings, while Minnesota's won 9 of the 11. 9 of the 11 games have been decided by just 1 goal. Minnesota winning 7 of those.
I'm sure a lot of that comes down to goaltending. You've got 2 guys that are really solid. Gibson, he can steal a game in a hurry. And then you've got Cam Talbot, fantastic at home. Again, there that shift. Cam Talbot makes the good save. Henrique again from Zegras. He's been very active.
Bukestad throws it out to center ice. 4.5 left. Talbot gives it to Dumba. Bukestad deflected to the line. Getzlaf able to hold. Getzlaf tried to center, and Talbot snatches that out of the air.
Gets up with tried a little chip play. Comtois going to the net. Such a smart player. Anaheim's been lucky to have him. Obviously won a cup in 2007. Kind of on the back 9. 1-year deal right now. See what happens with this club. Maybe tries to chase a cup at the deadline, depending on where the Ducks are, but certainly still has some gas left in the tank. You've seen it. He's been good tonight.
He was good in the opener, too.
Yeah.
Out to the point, Fowler. Raquel spins away from Dumba. Raquel gives to Zegras. Zegras pestered by Brodin, maintains the puck up high. Shattenkirk into the corner. Fowler. Gaudreau got a piece of it there for Minnesota and weaves his way out of a tight spot. Plays it off the boards, but too far for Fiala.
Yeah, you hear the phrase stick handle out of a phone booth. I think Gaudreau just did right there.
Gaudreau trying to hold the zone here. He does. Once more emerges with the puck. But it bounces by Merrill, and Zegras able to force it out to center ice. Dumba sets up back of the net. Wild back in action tomorrow. Another early start, 4:30. Wild Live, 5 o'clock. Battle with the Nashville Predators, who are trailing by a goal in Winnipeg late in the 2nd period. Manson fires it in. Early season divisional games can set the tone for the rest of the campaign. Kaprizov back to Merrill. Merrill centers, and right off the stick of Eriksson Ek out front.
How about the windows that Kaprizov can pass a puck through? Backhand through the middle of the ice, finding a streaking Johnny Merrill. Wow, what a pass.
Steele's pass broken up by Eriksson Ek at the Minnesota line. Kulikov sets up back of the net. 2.5 minutes to go. Wild and Ducks have been going back and forth all night, and it's even 3-3. Foligno spins out to center, taken down by Terry. Merrill able to relay it in. The Wild want to change. Getzlaf out to center ice. Spurgeon finds it there. Back to Goligoski. And now here comes Spurgeon. Ahead to Greenway just off the bench. Slides it past Fowler. Shoved it up the wall. Goligoski holds. Hartman tried to throw one from the side boards. Goligoski now with it. Alex Goligoski gives it to Greenway. Flips to the corner. In on the forecheck against Fowler. Greenway to Foligno. And his shot was blocked by Getzlaf. Off the glass and out. Goligoski safely back to Spurgeon. 95 seconds left as Spurgeon starts out. Spurgeon reaches center. Still with the puck. Sturm. Into the corner. Spurgeon tried to center. Brodin. Back to Spurgeon. Across for Duhaime. Duhaime tied up. Sturm with it. Tried to center. Bukestad there keeps it alive. Bukestad centered just out of the reach of Duhaime. Brodin across. Dumba. Back to Brodin. Wines fakes the shot. Goes to Sturm. Back to Brodin once more. Now Dumba with it. Rask. Back to Brodin for Rask. Fumbled it for a moment. Now defended by Henrique. Rask works off the boards with it. Dumba winds, fires, blocked by Raquel. He goes down in pain. 40 seconds to go. Both teams change.
How about that shot from Matt Dumba? Boy, he loaded that one up over 100 miles an hour. Good shift from the fourth line.
Here comes Fiala, and the crowd rises with Fiala as he enters the zone. Gaudreau to Fiala, back of the net. Works out of the corner. Goligoski a shot. Rask finds it on the end wall. Fights off a hit by Manson. Gives to Dumba. He spins away from Manson up high. Goligoski looking for a lane. His shot blocked by Delorier. Into the corner, Fiala. Hit by Silverberg. Tied up by Fowler. And we are headed for overtime.
Well, Wild with a push late. Good shift by the fourth line resulted in the Matt Dumba big shot. The bomb, as we'll see here. But naturally, minute and a half left, tie game. Who do you put out? Your fourth line. They have a dominant shift. Almost get the chance. But I'd say that Matt Dumba's recovered from that knee. He can put that much on it. If you can hit triple digits with the slapper, I think you're firing on all cylinders.
I thought it was really interesting to see that Evason went to that group and again was rewarded. They had an outstanding shift.
Yeah, and the reason I think he goes to them is because they earned that opportunity the first 59 minutes or 58 and a half minutes, right, Anthony? I mean, they've been a good line together when they've been out. They've been on the forecheck. They've created offense. They've got a goal. Put them out there, see what's going to happen. Almost get one.
Well, Tuesday night in the home opener, Minnesota tied it late to send it into overtime, and then this happened. Cam Talbot stops Logan Stanley, and it leads to a 3-on-1 rush the other way. Kaprizov, Fiala, Kaprizov, Eriksson Ek for the winner.
Yeah, tic-tac-toe right there in the back of the net. You can't forget how big a play that was, too. That was a shorthanded rush coming down. Big save from Talbot, then back 3-on-1. What a play. Good patience from Kaprizov, obviously. Nice pass. That's about as exciting a game as you can get, Anthony. I'd have to say, at practice yesterday, they worked on 3-on-3. Dean Evason said, hey, that's the first look we had it. There were some mistakes made out there. They wanted to shore some of those things up. He went with pairs. I think he's going to like Ek with Kaprizov to start. Then we'll see what happens that, but I think he double shifts Kaprizov, and we'll see him with Zuccarello later.
We'll start with Ek and Kaprizov. That win Tuesday, the only overtime game prior to tonight played by the Wild. Ducks have played one. They beat Calgary 3-2 in overtime. Jamie Drysdale scored the winner in that one.
We'll see if he comes back. Fiala, Gaudreau, and then Kaprizov, Zuccarello. That's the 1-2-3 combo I think he likes.
Eriksson Ek wins the draw. Such a great start to the season on faceoffs for Eriksson Ek. Jonas Brodin starts out for Minnesota. Eriksson Ek tied up but maintains the puck. Spins along the wall, defended by Lindholm. And Eriksson Ek will bring it back out to neutral ice. First possession of the overtime, half-minute in.
Ek happy to hand that one off to Kaprizov. I'm supposed to go to the front of the net. You carry this thing up the ice.
Here comes Kaprizov into the Duck zone. Drops for Eriksson Ek. Picks it up along the wall, and again we'll bring it out to center and see if the Wild try to change without allowing the Ducks to do the same. Ducks had a couple players jump on, but they go back off. And Minnesota is able to get fresh attackers. Gaudreau with it. Works to the middle. Gaudreau fires. Saved by Gibson. A rebound, and we've got a penalty coming. And Minnesota will get a power play in overtime for the second consecutive game.
Carbon copy. Ducks never had a chance to get possession of this puck. The Wild win the faceoff. They've got it the whole time. They get through a change. Gaudreau with a good shot. Eventually that leads to Lindholm panicking, grabbing that puck, trying to throw it in the corner. Wild get the power play. 4v3 coming up. There it is. He closes the hand on it, throws it behind him. Ruff with a great look at that right behind him, sees the whole thing. Lindholm pleading his case. I just tapped it. I just tapped it. I think you could clearly see close the hand on it.
So Minnesota goes with the same quartet that delivered the 4-on-3 overtime winner against the Jets on Tuesday. Eriksson Ek, Fiala, Kaprizov, and Spurgeon. Eriksson Ek to draw against Getzlaf to get it started. Eriksson Ek wins the draw. It comes out to center ice.
Number 47 hit was Lindholm. 2 minutes for closing his hand on the puck. Time to penalty 105.
Fiala moves in for Minnesota. Kaprizov takes his cross ice pass. Down low, Eriksson Ek. He had the winner Tuesday. Spurgeon a shot saved by Gibson. Kaprizov has it.
Set play there. Good play. Try to bring the Ducks low. Feed it to Spurgeon.
Eriksson Ek knocked down out front. Wild won't get another call there. Fiala with it. Kaprizov. Spurgeon winds, fires, save Gibson. Kaprizov on it, back of the net. Eriksson Ek in a war out front right now. Spurgeon leaves it for Fiala. Fiala back to Kaprizov. A shot that hit a skate. Eriksson Ek fights through a hook, plays it off the wall to Kaprizov. Kaprizov for Spurgeon. Spurgeon looking, fire, save Gibson. Rebound, Fiala, shot. Glove save by Gibson.
Well, we got some.
Gibson throws a jab at Eriksson Ek.
Yeah, Gibson pretty hot down there right now. Eriksson Ek doing a job in front of him. As you mentioned, Anthony, they're in a war out front. That doesn't exclude Gibson. He's not happy. Here's the set play. Wild, what they're trying to do here is change sides below the goal line. Bring the Ducks all their skates facing south. You got Jared Spurgeon coming north. Nice play, good shot. Jared Spurgeon almost hits that spot he hit earlier in the game. Trying for that short side corner.
I was wondering if Dean Evison might take a timeout here to rest these four halfway through the power play. And it looks like that is what has happened. And now Gibson intentionally runs into Eriksson Ek on the way to the bench.
Well, I think if you're the Wild, and especially Eriksson Ek, you've got to take that as a positive. You're in Gibson's head of Dean Evison. Great time out here. Now you camp Eriksson Ek right back out in front of him again. You know he's thinking about it. You know he's upset. See if you can't get Gibson paying attention to Eriksson Ek instead of what's going on around him.
Well, Gibson will get a linesman escort back to the crease. But, I mean, it's not a major hit or anything, but this is clearly done with intent.
There was ice, yeah, there's no question. He went on the inside edge there, a little lean. Kind of looks, an old teammate of his used to do things like that. Corey Perry, if you recall, kind of an instigator in that regard.
1 minute left in the Minnesota power play here in overtime. Eriksson Ek will take the draw against Getzlaf. Kaprizov digs it loose for the Wild. Spurgeon. Give and go with Kaprizov. Back to Kaprizov. Wanted to go to Fiala, and a good stick by Fowler breaks it up, but Fiala able to recover. Spurgeon carries back in, broken up at the Ducks line. Kaprizov back to Fiala. Fiala moves through the middle, gives to Spurgeon. Kaprizov down to the goal line, wants Fiala, and it deflects over his head. Getzlaf on it for the Ducks. They have a 3-on-1 shorthanded rush. Eriksson with a good stick, knocks it away. Fiala with a hit. Getzlaf maintains the puck, but then turn it over. Put it right in the stick of Kaprizov. Kaprizov to Spurgeon. He carries in. Ducks may have gotten away with too many men. 5 in the power play, and Silverberg has it here for the Ducks. Lindholm about to come back on. The Ducks have a 2-on-1. They're at full strength. Shattenkirk centers. It skips by Silverberg. Kaprizov rifled one out, looking for Fiala. Lindholm takes it away. Lindholm back in for Anaheim. Minute 40 in overtime. Lindholm works up high. 4-on-4 until the next whistle. Spurgeon defending Terry. Wheels fire. Save Talbot. Rebound knocked out to the line by Eriksson. Held by Drysdale. Lindholm. Back in the middle, Zegras. Zegras with a shot. Save Talbot. Been a long shift for Kaprizov, Fiala, Eriksson, and Spurgeon.
Out there for the whole 2 minutes on the power play. Ducks had them there in their own zone, trapped a little bit, but some good patience. Wild able to control that puck and get their guys off the ice.
Now Minnesota has a fresh 4 as Dumba sets up behind the net. 1 minute left in overtime. Minnesota missed a chance on the power play. Now Zuccarello comes forward, got it to Gaudreau. Gaudreau back for Dumba. Dumba goes down low. Gaudreau on his backhand. Retreats, goes across to Brodin. Brodin works past Henrique. Circling the net, holding the puck. Back to Dumba. Gaudreau. Zuccarello to Brodin. Winds, fires, kick save Gibson. Rebound Drysdale in the corner, and it gets by Brodin and out to center. Zuccarello just off the bench. Here's Hartman moving in. He scores!
Wild for the second game in a row, win it in OT. Tonight's hero, Ryan Hartman, great change. Gaudreau, Hartman comes on, bursts his speed, gets the puck, comes up the ice, makes no mistake, head up, looks, sees that upper corner, quick little wrister, right over the glove of Gibson. Wild win this one 4-3. Exciting fashion, another 1-goal game between these two guys, or between these two teams, I'm sorry. 4-3 Wild win.
And the perfect start continues for Minnesota. Another 1-goal win, another come from behind win. Hartman with the winner tonight. Wild 4, Ducks 3 in overtime. We got a whole lot coming next. Wild Live in a moment.